What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we're taking a look at the latest merch supporting King Vamp aka Playboi Carti in support of his newest album, I Am Music. Now before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to the homie Strain Beats who's been cooking up the beats for these videos, so make sure you guys check him out. And while you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and join our free Discord to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. Shout out to all of my chefs in there. Now, it was just the other day on September 12th when I was chopping it up with my chefs in the Discord server when my dude Bubble here popped in letting us know that Carti actually dropped some new merch. And while I was super excited to get the news of the newest drop before any of the Carti blogs started posting the news, I couldn't help but speculate on whether or not this was an actual drop, because if you were around during the rollout of Whole Lotta Red, you're probably familiar with the failed Narcissist merch drop, which was allegedly ruined by hackers. And although I was probably doing too much by thinking of the Narcissist drop, the fact that the merch was advertised as shipping a whole 6 or 7 months later in April of 2025 really had me scratching my head and wondering what the hell is going on with this drop. Now, as of today's date, or September 15th, just a couple of days later, I do want to mention that Carti's team has since updated the description of these items to now mention that the items will ship no later than 6 months from September 12th, which I can only hope we get these items much sooner than half a year from now. Now, as for the merch itself, there isn't a whole lot going on, although I do like the PBC design, which of course stands for Playboi Carti, and it does look like under the actual logo we've got some iterations or versions of the I Am Music logo, which is pretty minimalistic but clean at the same time. And the special edition box set seemingly borrows inspiration from other major artists such as Travis Scott, Don Toliver, and A$AP Rocky most recently, as their merch would come with these collectible boxes. Now, although the description for this hoodie box set doesn't explicitly state whether or not it actually includes the physical CD itself, my best guess is that this is a preview of what the cover may look like, as Carti himself would verify later in this video. Now, next up in this collection, we of course have the t-shirt box set, which again is unfortunately lacking some information as far as product description, so if you're on the fence on what size to order, unfortunately I can't really guide you as we don't have a size guide and we don't even know what kind of quality this merch is. But with that said, I'm definitely feeling this t-shirt box set the most out of the 3 items currently available for pre-order. And as far as value, I feel like $50 isn't so bad to tie up, even if it ends up taking 6 months as opposed to $100 for the hoodie box set, if you kind of get what I'm saying. Plus, I just think the graphic on this shirt in particular is pretty hard and I like it. Now, as far as the final piece of actual clothing or merch that's available for pre-order in support of Carti's album I Am Music, you're actually looking at it right now in the form of the $65 hat box set, which unfortunately only features the sideways view and orientation of the hat, and seemingly has the word or logo music on it, but again, we can't really tell as you only get this side of the hat itself. Now, at first glance, I kind of prefer the Narcissist hats we've seen in the past, but of course no knocking you if you decide to pick this one up. And ultimately, I feel like it's kind of the lack of description letting us know whether or not we'll be receiving the actual physical CD or a vinyl that's kind of stopping me from committing to one of these 3 items. Now, last but not least, we also have the digital version of the album available for purchase for a cool $9.99 if you want to support Carti, which honestly looks to just be a placeholder at the moment, as when you purchase the digital album, it gives you a confirmation and features the old red logo, letting us know they haven't updated at least this portion of the website. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the video, Carti himself, along with his manager Sex is Death, would actually verify on Instagram that the following images are different versions of the upcoming album cover, after Carti's second Instagram account would share the following Lil Wayne inspired album art, which would lead fans to speculate on whether or not this was official for the release, and would even cause Carti to clarify for the fans himself in a rare moment, as we know this dude loves to remain mysterious. Now, if you've been following Carti at all over the last couple of months or even year, you'll know that he's been hanging out pretty closely with Ye, aka Kanye West, so it's no surprise when you see some of these alternate album covers that there's some definite inspiration from Kanye's iconic Yeezus. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Carti has recently kind of dropped the whole mysterious thing as he's been a little bit more active on social media, but not before confusing fans after posting himself wearing various NBA jerseys, even including my hometown Orlando Magic, which asked him to drop the album and I thought was actually pretty dope. But it would be in the days following that all of these NBA jersey posts would start to make a little bit more sense, as we'd get a preview and glimpse at an upcoming collaboration between Playboi Carti and the infamous Cactus Plant Flea Market, which is of course known for their puff print pieces, and will seemingly be dropping a collection of basketball jerseys with the Opium Man himself. And when I think about it, this is honestly some genius marketing, so shout out to Carti. Now, for those of you that have been around since the Whole Lotta Red rollout coming up on 5 years ago at this point, I also wanted to remind you that this is not Carti's first collaboration with CPFM, so I wanted to share what the past collaboration looked like to give you an idea and to help paint the history. Now, with that being said, and although I am excited that we do have a new collection of Carti merch currently sitting available for pre-order, I can't help but feel just a little bit underwhelmed, as I would have liked to see a little bit more variety, especially given the fact that we've seen some of these unreleased Opium pieces over the last year. So for those of you that haven't been paying that close of attention, I wanted to share the following images, which a couple of months ago some fans speculated whether or not they would actually be legit, and would seemingly over time, or at least over the last couple of months, verify the existence of at least a couple of these items, starting things off with the most infamous piece modeled here by Luca Sabat, one of Carti's model friends, in the form of this $150 music crop hoodie, which also popped up on Kayla B, who is the sister of Chief Keef, just earlier this week, leading me to speculate on whether or not this is an official piece of Opium merch, which we'll be releasing in support of this album. Now, it was also just a couple of days ago we got news of an upcoming collaboration between Peli Peli, and I apologize if I butchered the name, and of course Mr. Carti here, who had actually been modeling several of these pieces throughout the last few months. Now, as far as this piece in particular, I do want to highlight the fact that there are speakers in the actual jacket, and I do appreciate the PBC logo, which I think is pretty hard. Now, you might be wondering why I held off in making this video, as this actually dropped a couple of days ago, and it was the fact that Carti had the following surprise birthday party planned for yesterday, which I expected to have some new merch pieces, and unfortunately would get shut down by the police. Now, with all that being said, like I mentioned throughout this video, the whole situation with the shipping is the only thing that's really holding me back from committing to picking up some of these pieces, because let's be real, I'd love to support Carti and pick up something dope, but waiting a whole 6 months isn't exactly my idea of fun. And I'm about 1000% sure that there will be another couple of waves of merch in support of the album when it officially releases, so I don't mind waiting for that, and if you're also on the same wave, let me know in the comments. And although Carti will likely never acknowledge my videos on his Instagram or just in general, I do think it's crazy to see just how far this guy has come since we took this photo together during the self-titled era. Now, as always guys, thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen, and let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Let me know if you guys are ready for I Am Music and if you guys picked up any of this merch. And as always, shout out to all of my chefs. I wanted to give a special shout out to my homie Keaton. Happy birthday to you, my guy. Shout out to Balenci. Shout out to William holding it down. And shout out to all of y'all for being real ones. I hope you all had a great weekend. Remember to stay safe out there, and remember, it's lit. Straight up. And peace.